joy or the red box of doom? I don't know.
Well, it sounds like doom outside.
It does sound like doom outside. Doom and gloom. It's not perfect.
Green and yellow.
Oh, that was a darker green than normal. What is happening to our green? Hello, everybody.
Hello, folks.
We are here 8 minutes early for anybody who comes later and starts after the, watches it when it's on a live stream. If you don't like the butt rub portion of all these things, just fast forward by at least 8 minutes. In case anybody happens to be new here, not sure how you found us, but hi, welcome. I'm Kayla Lords.
And I'm John Brownstone.
This is the Loving BDSM weekly live stream of our podcast that is on every known podcast app, including now iHeartRadio.
Yeah.
Which is weird to me, but we did it. Yay.
I heart that.
We clearly heart that as our shirts are our logo, and we like hearts. Okay, so I know folks got here early and started chatting. I want to say hello. Hi, CDC. Hi, Tayshu. Hi, Amy. Hi, Flashfire. I'm scrolling. I love it. I'm scrolling through the conversation. I'm scrolling. And then it just did the auto scroll of death. Hi, Silent Winged. I'm scrolling. One day I'll go back and read some of these things. I'm scrolling. Hi, Aria. I'm scrolling. Hi, Liz. Hi, Serenity. Hi, Eva. I'm scrolling. Tayshu, yes, if this part is the butt rub, then all that chat y'all did, that's the negotiation. But maybe only between y'all. The rest of us all have to scroll up and go find out. Looked like a good conversation. I really do. Hi, Amy. I really do hope that...
Hello, everyone.
I like to try.
I know you do.
I know
you do.
When did you become the more efficient of the two of us?
Maybe I've always been and you never noticed.
I mean, probably. I'm not gonna lie. I've had multiple types of caffeine today, but this is now my second sip of my coffee.
I'm on my third.
Yes, I know. Your eyes are going to start moving back and forth very fast, very quickly.
I won't blink through the entire...
No, you won't.
Yeah.
No, you won't. So, we're here. Mm-hmm. Y'all saw the title.
Yeah.
We know what we're going to talk about, but if anybody's like, I just don't want to fucking think about a pandemic right now, or political strife, or... You mean
the white elephant that's been in the room for the past
state of the world as we know it. I'm okay if you skip this one. Like, I totally get it.
4 months at this point.
When it comes to the pandemic part, for sure. So, but, but, yeah. So, Flashfire, I thought I saw that comment about a food handler's card. Can you educate me? What is that? I'm happy for you because you're happy, so yay, congrats. But can I understand what that is, or should I just Google it? And if I should just Google it, I will. It is okay to say, Google is a thing. I had to watch one of my sex blogging friends educate somebody on Twitter yesterday, and I could feel them kind of being like, Google's a thing. So it's okay for people to hit me back with that. It really is. Hi, Juniper. So, butt rub portion. What do we have that only the YouTube folk would hear? Oh, happy Canada Day. Technically, I guess Saturday is Happy America Day. I mean, it's the only date that we purposely say backwards for us backwards. 4th of July. It has two names. It's either Independence Day or it's 4th of July. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay, Flashfire, okay. I will Google it. I will, but I'm happy for you and congrats.
I'll
Hi, Velvet Sky.
Down.
So, yeah.
Well, we are in the middle of a thunderstorm at the moment.
I know, it just quieted down in the background. We don't know if that means anything.
How long it'll last or what, but yeah, we... And crazy thing was, we only had a 20% chance of rain.
Well, there's our 20%
today.
chance.
Right over our house.
Exactly. I'm looking at the little radar blurb. It is right over our blue dot. Yes.
Yep. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, we may have some rumblings throughout. I'm a little... we have been so hot and so dry
Oh God,
for the
been
past.
miserable.
It's been a little over a week, and I honestly thought I was going to get out of mowing the lawn this week because it was so crispy.
Hey, look, I know how you can get out of mowing the lawn. He's 14.
Well, yeah, I know.
He
Yeah,
likes money.
There is that too.
We pay him to mow the lawn.
Yeah.
What was I going to... I was thinking of what would be YouTube live stream only stuff for the butt rub portion. And one is just a reminder, if you happen to be part of our Patreon, we just put out our most recent behind the scenes podcast. It's a special podcast episode once a month we do. And then the live stream is on July 4th on a highly American holiday that don't really celebrate in general. Anyway, okay. Yeah. I used to like going to the fireworks, and now
I always did too.
Pay me to go sit outside.
I always did too.
With strangers.
I remember when we went to one of the last few fireworks that we went to. It was in Clearwater.
Yeah. Oh gosh, and we were on the very top
and
of
we were
that
on the very
parking
top of the
garage.
Parking garage, yeah.
Because I think we would have liked to have gone down closer to that festival that was going on, but that was many.
It was a lot of people there, yeah.
I mean, that even got you kind of like on edge.
So, yeah, I saw Aria mention that she likes
Southern thunderstorms.
And you know what? I like them too.
I like them when they're a typical southern thunderstorm, not when it's a hurricane. I don't like it when it's a tropical anything.
Well, no, when
it's not always a hurricane.
Storm, I mean, you got to understand here in Florida, it's typical summer weather is by late afternoon going into usually about 3-4 o'clock. The heat of the day and the humidity. You used to be able to set your clocks
you could.
To the afternoon thunderstorm.
Damn climate change.
They were so regular. I mean, they're number of years now they've changed. They are not as regular as they used to be, but we do still get them, and it's kind of comforting. I
sleep better in a thunderstorm for sure. Now there was one earlier this year, late last year at the house we just moved from, our rental house, where that one was so violent it woke me up. Oh yeah, and that was one that actually did make me nervous. But most of them are good. I always say they're good sleeping weather. There was something else. Oh, Silent Wing was talking about neighbors doing the fireworks. Yeah, we have had that I think most of my life. Even when there is plenty of fireworks to go see, usually the whole week of 4th of July and Memorial Day and Labor Day, that's September Labor Day, people are doing their fireworks or shooting their guns.
Yeah, there's that too.
In their backyard or their front yard or wherever. I have not heard any of that so far this year.
I was just gonna remark on that. I have seen a number of firework vendors popping up all over town.
Oh my gosh! Well, and that's pretty typical. Hi, Master Bobby.
And that is typical, and it has been very quiet. I have not heard, all the fireworks and whatnot going on, which I'm okay with.
Yeah, no. I'm very happy.
Now it could
okay with be that they're all saving it up for Saturday.
Yeah. Or it could be the house is better insulated than we think, and we don't hear it.
I enjoy that part.
From the outside,
and there's bigger yards, so there's more space. But
right.
I really think maybe this is just a quiet neighborhood, and I'm here for it, quite frankly. Yes, Silent Wing, what the fuck, America is right.
Much,
yes, people shoot their guns in the air.
Yeah.
So, hi, Cara.
Welcome, Max.
Hi, X. Hi, M. M, I am so sorry.
M, I'm sorry.
We're talking about the genuine state of the world. General, not genuine. General state of the world. But no, in any tragedy like that, it is definitely okay to not be okay.
No.
Hi, Lillian. So it is 12:31.
Okay.
Let us officially get started. First of all,
right.
No, stop touching the button. Stop touching the button. Okay.
Can't help it. I'm a button pusher.
I know you from way back. So our shirts do not have special links to them because these are the shirts we were gifted with our logo on them. Have we done anything about updating our merch store with better logoed shirts? No, we have not. Just, I think I was telling somebody in the last time we were hanging out online, I was like, I need a manager and I need an assistant. Those are the two things I need in my life. I'd probably get more of those things done. Anyway, no link to this. If you enjoy the live stream or if you're watching the video later, feel free to give us a thumbs up. We like those. So does the algorithm. If you have not subscribed, we'd love if you would subscribe. Only if you enjoy it. If you don't enjoy it, don't feel pressure. It's fine. I tend to watch easily a dozen videos of a channel before I'll make up my mind. Very picky about hitting that subscribe button. And if you happen to really, really like what we do, want to help us do more of it, you can always join our Patreon, patreon.com/KaylaLords, or link in the description box. Okay, yes, now you can push the special button. And they're just want a roll of thunder. Yep. For podcast listeners, for anybody who comes in later on the live stream, if you hear rumbling in the back, we know that's thunder.
Yep.
Okay, so before we get into today's topic, I had one announcement.
Okay.
We are not sponsored this week, but this is an affiliate, and it's a company we talk about all the time. So I was like, oh, we're spreading the word.
Yes.
So Hot Octopus is one of our favorite sex toy companies, and they actually sponsored a thing I ran back in May under an old project called Masturbation Monday. They sponsored a giveaway, and I was like, hey, the giveaway is great, and thank you so much. Can I get a coupon code for later so we can celebrate Masturbation Monday and Masturbation Month all year long? And so they did. And so you can save 15% off at Hot Octopus, whether you want buzzy, vibrating toys for clits and vulvas or penises. They're really good at the sex toys for penises, for freaking sure. The coupon code is CMM15, C as in cat, M as in Mary, M as in Mark, 15. At hotoctopus.com. For people on YouTube, all the information is in the description box. And for podcast listeners, all the information is in the show notes. But if you just go to hotoctopus.com, shop around, use the code CMM15, you save 15%. And that's good site-wide. I've had several coupon codes lately that were product-specific. You could only use it on that specific product. Oh, not this time.
Everything.
It's for everything. So if you've had your eye on something, this might, maybe this is the time to get it. And that coupon is good through July 21st, 2020. We are affiliates, so just full disclosure, if you make a purchase using our link or our coupon code, we do make a small commission off of that. That all goes towards doing the things we do. So full disclosure. Okay, so for this week's episode, I have no show notes. I have no notes to get us through this conversation.
The elephant that's been in the room.
And we have, I think, sort of talked about it. We talked about it in different ways.
Yes.
And we've, we don't pretend that life is great outside the four walls of where we're recording. And I really think this is one of those things where it's going to be very personal for everybody because we each have our own threshold that we can tolerate of stress and of uncertainty. We are each going through our own experiences of what's going on in the world right now. So, the pandemic, COVID-19 is absolutely top of mind, but quite frankly, the ongoing protests, which are, have been peaceful, so of course the news isn't covering them, and the ongoing, centuries-long issue with racism and police brutality, that's huge. Depending on your personal politics, the state of politics in whatever country you live in, it's probably like, are you kidding me? The economy, the pandemic has fucked with most of our economies, no matter what country you live in. So there's a lot. And what has got you personally not okay is going to be slightly different from the next person. And I realized we were at 9:00 this morning. We record / live stream at 12:30 p.m. Eastern time, local time, where we are at. So 9:00 this morning, I still didn't have a topic for this week's episode. And that's, every once in a while we'll do that. And I'll kind of joke, haha, slacker. But this was more of a, nothing at that moment felt important enough to discuss because I just wasn't feeling okay. And part of it I've noticed is that these days, when I get tired, I mean, it's not just you're like, oh, I could really go take a nap tired. It's like bone weary. Can I sleep for 2 weeks without waking up level of tired?
Putting one foot in front of the other is an effort.
Exactly. And, to keep life moving and keep lights on and keep children taken care of, in our situation, on some level, we have to keep putting one foot in front of the other. And then I was thinking about how I feel as a submissive, and I don't feel very submissive, and I've probably not been the best. I certainly have not been the best submissive I could be.
Yeah.
And you and I have had conversations. It's affected your dominance.
Right.
It's affected our sex lives.
I mean,
it's just a lot.
Between all the stuff just going on in general in the world, and then this past weekend, life itself, just in general, can suck and throw bullshit at
Right.
you.
I mean, any normal day, sure.
And this past weekend we had some things going on, and just to show you how life can throw you a curve. We talk a lot about how submissives can be triggered.
People can be triggered, but
And
and we do mean that in the legit psychological trigger definition of the word.
And that happened to me this past weekend.
You are still on an emotional hangover.
Yeah. And it has thrown me for a loop for quite a few days now, and I'm finally starting to...
And I do wonder, the incident was bad enough, the moment was bad enough, the aftermath was bad enough. Was it then exacerbated by just the level of ongoing stress from life in general? And you can't know that, but yeah, I would say yeah.
So, with all that, it's especially the past 4 to 5 days, I have not been feeling my most dominant self.
No, and what's nice is part of my submission is wanting to help you and get you through things, but also I'm a fixer, so I have to watch that. Certain things can't be fixed. Many things can't be fixed, regardless of even if your partner wants you to fix them. They just always can't be fixed. What's funny is when you are going through a tough time, and we've been beyond coronavirus, like many times in our relationship together, you've gone through tough times. I feel more like I'm having the opportunity to take care of you in those times, because my focus becomes how do I help you get through this and feel okay again? And I desperately, part of it's because I love you as a partner, but also there's that submissive side of me that desperately wants you to be okay and wants to make the hurt go away and wants to make the stress go away. And this is just one of those, of the whole conversation we can have about this. I don't know how deep we'll end up getting, but that's one of the hard parts as a submissive right now, is the general state of the world and how we all have to sort of navigate it and our feelings within it. And also the things that go on that may have something to do with the general state of the world, but may not. There's a feeling of helplessness when you can't fix a thing, or when I can't make you feel better. Like when I kind of jump into submissive action, my superhero cape, and I can go into the let me take care of you mode, because that's how I serve and that's how we relate a lot in our relationship. That feels good. But then when you have to face the reality that many things in life, but in this specific situation, there was no push a button, snap your fingers, wiggle your nose, fix to this.
I wish there were.
And then I end up feeling helpless in the face of that. And that's just a singular moment that had a very clear, here's the thing that happened, here was the catalyst for it, here's the outcome. Now let's talk about the fact that we have an ongoing pandemic outside, right? So depending on, everybody's life situation is different. Some people have lost their job or had their hours greatly reduced because of it. Some people are frontline people and they got to go to work no matter what. And maybe they're in healthcare, so they're watching this unfold. Everybody's experience of this is different, but it's a thing that there is no simple push a button and it's fixed for anybody.
Right.
And we all are going to look at the problem and the fear we may or may not have and the risks and what we need to do to keep ourselves safe and our family safe. And we're going to react in some way. And for many of us, I think it's safe to say it's a very stressful time.
Yeah.
And if you think that's not impacting your power exchange, either you just handle things way differently than almost everybody I know, or you might be fooling yourself / not quite to the place that others are yet. Because I do think it's a process too. So for some people, day one, you were like this. You were very anxious about the pandemic.
Yeah.
It was absolutely messing with you. And I was finally calm. And we talked about this in the episode we did on the first episode we'd done about talking about coronavirus, where I was like, oh, well, my anxiety's like, oh, at least we can name the threat. And we've been planning for these kinds of things our whole life. So, okay. And yet, so I thought I was good. And then we were buying the house and I had something to focus on. And I thought I was good. And now we're on the other side of that. And I realize months later, maybe months after other people have realized that they're not okay. I'm not okay. I'm not walking around terrified every moment of every day. I don't have an overwhelming anxiety about COVID, partly because, knock on wood, I'm trying to do what I can to try to keep myself and the people I love safe. But it's just this, general malaise of, it's hard to think, it's hard to plan, it's hard to do, it's hard to find energy, it's hard to care.
I know for me in the beginning when it first came on, because it was so new and there was so much unknown, that's really what kind of threw me. And, trying to adjust to the new norm, it took me a while. And I did. And now, because things have swung, the pendulum's kind of swung right now. Florida is one of several states right now that is just going crazy with this.
Oh, yeah.
Our hospitals, as 3 days ago, 75% full. And that's kind of thrown me into a whole thing. There's the people out in the streets protesting for their lives, in regards to Black Lives Matter. Government, it wears you down. And I know for myself, we have always had kind of an even keel is how I would kind of state it for our power exchange. We were always on very level ground with that. And with everything going on and trying to cope and navigate life and all that, it's put it on a very uneven keel. And even a few times I've questioned in my mind, why are we doing this right now?
What does it even matter?
Yeah.
I'm not specific to that, but there are many things where I've been like, what the fuck even matters now? The thing I have liked, and I know this might be a very unique perspective. Certainly not everybody will see this the way that my brain went, oh. There was something about the levels of stress and strife and legitimately important things going on in the world, but they're just... It's a lot, and I think it's just, we need to be okay with saying it's a lot and we're exhausted by it. Like, wherever you're putting your attention, it's a lot and we are exhausted by it. Doesn't make it less meaningful or less important. Let's just put that out there. But there was a certain point where, and I have found I do this when I'm grieving sometimes now. Thankfully, I haven't had a million reasons to grieve, but I've had enough where I recognize the pattern, that there comes a point where my mind kind of goes, this doesn't even matter to you. Why are you still doing it, thinking about it, pursuing it? And that made it really easy, not easy, it made it easier to make some decisions that otherwise I might not have made, because I could have been like, well, this is just what I do. And I had a moment, like it was maybe a day or a week of clarity of life is freaking short and it's really fucking tough right now.
Mm-hmm.
For some people, much tougher than it's ever been. And for some people, it's right on par with everything they already know about life. Yeah. But it's really freaking tough right now. Why are you wasting your time and energy on these things that you don't care about, that don't really matter to you? And it was really, I keep saying it was really easy, but it's in retrospect that it was really easy to go, yeah, I'm not doing that anymore. Because, and I have done that in times of my life when I've grieved the loss of somebody. When my father died, gosh, I was 22, and it was very easy. I was able to let go of some really toxic friendships and some really things that just I couldn't even tell you I was doing them, and I was able to do that. But then there's another side, and from observation, I'm a known lurker on the internet. I read and do not engage. There's the other side of it, and I have felt this, and I think this is also really common. It's there are things that I want to do, that I do think are important, that are meaningful to me. And in this case, we could be talking about our power exchange. We could be talking about anything. And it's exhausting to even get started, more so than it might be otherwise. Like, I know about the power of procrastination, and I know about imposter syndrome. I know how your brain will make you think something's really difficult when it's not, and it's hard to start. But this is just on a different level to me. And that's the part where I get really aggravated, because I'm like, no, I actually do want to do that thing. Mm-hmm. This is really hard to do, though.
And there's the juxtaposition, because you know, as much with everything going on, and I'm asking myself, well, you know, why does this matter? Why are we doing this right now? On the other side of that, that's the one familiarity that kind of can remain constant, so to speak. You know, it's the one thing that, you know, amidst the maelstrom, that still kind of holds everything together.
Yeah.
Does that make any sense?
I think so. So I'm thinking, when I thought about today's topic and today's title, I was thinking about the general world. I was thinking about how we have been, but I was also thinking about the submissives and the dominants, people in clear relationship roles who assume a lot of responsibility, who, even though what they need to do is just maybe rest, what they need to do is to have certain parts of their power exchange relax a little bit, maybe not all, or the people who are struggling to maintain. It's like I've just kept thinking about those people and thought, you need to hear that it's okay to not be okay. It's okay for the dominant people out there who think they're supposed to be strong for their partner every moment of every day. It's okay to not be okay. Can I just, for the submissive who's like, but I have to take care of everybody, and I have to take care of everything, and why am I not fulfilled by this, and why am I worn out by the thought of it before I've even done anything, and why is this all a struggle now? It's okay to not be okay, and hello, the world is on fire, okay? Yeah. Somebody pointed out in the live stream chat, was something that you and I had just talked about the other day. We're dealing with COVID, and now, there may be a new strain of swine flu to deal with.
Yes. I know, right?
If you just want to talk about how, like, 2020 is the worst fucking year.
You know, I saw something funny the other day talking about that. You know how I always say 2020 is hindsight? Mm-hmm. Hindsight is 2020. I can't remember which way it goes now. Do you think maybe that was an omen?
I know.
That was a warning from the future that we took the wrong way?
I don't know. I think that we all, as individuals, and then if you happen to be in a relationship, of course, we have to figure out the right thing for us, and our right way won't be the right way for other people. So I'm seeing in the live stream chat, people are talking about how much news to consume to take care of themselves and or stay informed. And we know a couple of people who just flat refuse to watch the news at all, and yet then we watch them go do things, and we're like, Yes, it's obvious you don't look at the news. I would like that person to just take 5 minutes, even a week, and just maybe skim some headlines. And then you have fallen down this rabbit hole, and I know a lot of other people do, where you watch, it's too much. You read everything that comes out, and then of course when you read conflicting things, and then the emotions are on a different kind of roller coaster, and the stress is just at all-time highs. And somebody said in the live stream chat, when they don't pay attention to the news, they actually feel more anxious. Mm-hmm. I'm personally trying to find that balance. I need to know what's going on,
right?
But I also know what I have found in all of this, and I think this has always been a thing I've done, but I just do it more now because there's more of the world on fire. Mm-hmm. I know I'm in a decent mental headspace when I can skim through the headlines, read a couple of articles that make me go, wait, I think there's new information there that I want to know, whatever that might be. And then I can get out of the news app, or I can minimize the screen, or I can do whatever. I know it's really bad when I almost compulsively click everything, read everything, even if I'm just kind of skim reading, go through every one of them, feel worse and worse, tell myself, you know what you need to do is stop scrolling this damn phone and go pick up a book. Yeah. And I keep doing it even as there's a part of my brain going, this is making you feel worse. You should stop. Can't stop. It takes more energy to stop than to continue. Yeah. For me, that's been my moment of sort of understanding and clarity. Now the problem is when do I have the most clarity about it? When I'm done, when I'm miserable, and I basically am like a giant bean bag that needs to be poured into the bed because I've sapped all my mental energy. Mm-hmm. You know, we've talked for years in our podcast about things that were not related to pandemics, about the need for, if you're not, naturally an introspective person, I'm like, I beg of you, just 5 minutes every so often, please be a little bit more introspective. The problem is that there's a other side of that where you can be too introspective and then you're in your head too much. And I think that what I have noticed is all of the things that I would consider, everything has been taken to an extreme. So I can be introspecting about my behavior as I'm doing it and be unable to stop. Mm-hmm. I can also be introspective about the things I want to do, the things I don't want to do, and then not have the mental energy to just stop or to start. And then I am mentally berating myself. And I give myself no grace and no forgiveness and no space to just realize that none of us have any clue what the fuck we're doing. We never did anyway. I remember telling the 14-year-old let me explain to you the secret of adulting. None of us know what the fuck we're doing. We're making it up as we go along. And he just looked at me and I was like, look, you heard it here first. Okay. When you think in your teenage life, you're making it up as you go along, guess what? 40 years old here, making it up as I go along. Mm-hmm. And the problem is when we've been making it up as we've been going along, we've been using past experiences, past knowledge, things we believe, things we think, and things that are familiar to us to make those decisions, good or bad decisions. That's what we've been using. And now many of us, most of us, all of us are in completely unfamiliar territory, and we don't necessarily have that. And then I have noticed we're not all, Kinksters are not a monolith. Okay. We are not all alike, but many of us are kind of high achieving on certain things. Either it's in all parts of our life or it's the things we care deeply about. But many, many of us have this drive to be good at or to succeed at a thing. And for many of us, that happens to be our kink. And we feel like we're failing, and we're not fucking failing. We're surviving a goddamn pandemic in the middle of the worst timeline of the multiverse. Okay, I mean, let's just say that.
And it's a matter, I think, of having to adjust on the fly. Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, and that's something very few of us are good at. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I mean, for me with the news, I've gotten to a point I scan the major news sources probably once a day.
Yep, you're better. Yeah. There was a time when every time I walked by you were like, the new number count is.
Yeah.
The new this is. I was like, and we finally had a conversation. I was like, I want to be informed as much as the next person. I need you to stop
I
being
know.
the town crier on this because
Yeah.
you were stressing me out.
Mhm.
I know that part of what I try to do, I'm not doing such a hot job of it right now, but on the days when it works well. I do try to set aside specific time in a day where I will look at that. So I know I'm going to catch up with the headlines. I know if a massive thing happened, you would be like, I've got to tell you this. A massive thing just happened. But I try to set aside a block of time where that's when I'm going to do that. And I'm not going to look at headlines. I'm not going to check the news outside of that time. For me, my stomach is growling and I ate lunch. If you can hear my stomach growling, I'm sorry. So what that allows me to do is that allows me, when it works, to focus on other things I need to get done or focus on things I want to get done. Probably the thing that there are several things that I have negative emotions about, but I don't know if I'm sad or stressed. I'm not angry, but I'm unhappy about is that the things that I would really like to be focusing on right now, I'd like to be focusing on, sex again. That'd be nice. My libido had already tanked before this. You want to talk about putting it in just like
Sahara mode?
I mean, it's a deep well that's been covered over with concrete at this point. They built a high rise on it. You don't even know it's there. You can't hear the Jumanji drums in the background letting you know that it ever existed. Like, that's how far gone the libido feels. And like I want to and have wanted to find ways to maybe figure that out.
Yeah.
We had talked about deepening, strengthening, doing something with our DS so we felt a little bit more connected.
Right.
There are things about and it's funny, I don't have any conscious thoughts about why not. It's not, for me, it's not, oh, well, I can't because the world is a dumpster fire and that's more important. I mean, I think I've gotten to a point where I'm a little bit better able to compartmentalize and go, the world is a dumpster fire, and I will do what I need to do to, even on a very small granular scale, make it less so.
Yeah.
And also the same thing is true at the same time that I have this rich inner and outer life that is a part of the world and it isn't, and it deserves love and care and attention. I have gotten to a point in my life that both of those things can be true at the same time. Some people are not there yet. For some people, the world is a dumpster fire and they almost feel guilty that they want to work on themselves or their sex life or whatever. And I think we have to get to that place on our own, time as well. So my point to all that is not that I'm having those thoughts of that we can't or we shouldn't. It's literally like, I just can't, I know. I'm running on empty. And I think most of us are just running on empty. And there's no good way. I think self-care and whatever that means to you, it's not all yoga and journaling, by the way. Like, self-care is taking your medicine and going to a doctor. And self-care means a lot of things. Self-care, I think, is only going to ever get us so far. And I think some things are just bigger than that bubble bath. I think finding small points of joy or relaxation or accomplishments in a day are important if you can. But I'm not sure I think that that's ever going to be big enough to fix a general malaise about the worst timeline ever. However it's impacted you. I think some people might be able to find their way through that, and maybe they are, maybe they have, and maybe we need to listen to those people. But I just don't think it's that simple. Would I do wonder, would I feel better if we had world leaders who I felt confident were doing everything that needed to be done? Maybe I'd feel better about that. I don't know. Would I feel better if we had a clear plan that we as, in our case, we're talking about the U.S. because that's where we live, but we as a nation were kind of collectively attempting to do together? I don't know, maybe, but since that's not my reality, I can't say that that's what I need in order to then have enough mental and emotional and maybe even spiritual. I'm not a very spiritual person, but the energy of all those levels to then focus on, I want to be a better submissive, or I just want to be a decent submissive, or I want to do a kinky thing. That would be really nice. Like, it takes so much energy to get through a day sometimes that there's no energy left to go do all the extra stuff that is fulfilling and makes you feel more like a whole person who's doing something right with your life. Like, I think that's the worst part of it. So much energy is being sucked out of us because the world's on fire in many different ways, that there's no energy left to go, but these are the things that if I could do these things, I think I would be better able to face the dumpster fire out there.
Yeah. I think, X made a good point. The world's always been a dumpster fire to some extent. I think what makes this so different is that it crosses the lines. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what politics you follow. It doesn't matter what race you are, what gender, how you identify it. It affects everyone in some way or form. And I think that's really what makes it worse. Oddly enough, what's kind of helped starting to clear my mind, and I started doing this, and I knew that in reality it was probably something I should have done a few years ago. I have started blocking and unfollowing people on Facebook.
Oh, I do. I'm more on Twitter than on Facebook. Man, I've gotten real liberal with that. I didn't used to. I used to think, I thought it made me not a nice person. And now I'm like, I'm going to take care of my fucking self.
Right.
First and foremost. Block, mute.
Yeah.
Don't need to see that. Thank you very much.
Yeah. And, kind of culling that stuff out has helped me a little bit. I mean, yesterday was a horrible day for me.
Yeah.
I was in a very, very low and dark place yesterday.
And I hate that happened to you on a day when you were finally left alone.
Yeah, I know,
we'll talk
right?
about why you were left alone in the bonus section, but like that was supposed to be like your day to like walk around the house naked and watch your YouTube videos at full volume. Like I was like, he's having a day. Okay. This is great. This is what he needs. And I remember I came home last night and your whole energy and your body language was just worse, almost maybe worse than the drama and the shit that went down over the weekend, which is what caused where you were yesterday, in part. Yeah, I was really worried about you.
Yeah.
Now, I know that I think I know. Here's the thing. I try and say, I know I do this, but what I found is I'm completely inconsistent. I think that's all of us. We do some things that are meaningful some of the time, but we don't necessarily do them all the time. That's just, I think, the human experience. What I do know about myself is that most of the time, and yesterday, Tuesday, day before recording, I tried to do this because it's my go-to, which is you are down, and I know that I cannot fix that you are down. But I want to somehow help you get back to closer to whatever normal is for you. And so I know sometimes while I'm at the same time trying to be very mindful of you're not in a good headspace, I also try and act like things are normal. And I was trying to do that a little bit yesterday, sort of a no nonsense.
Yeah.
Hey, we got to deal with dinner. Hey, I got questions about we got July is a big month for us with birthdays. We're now in July and we had some decisions to make. Yeah. And I was trying to move that forward. And sometimes I feel really insensitive for that. And sometimes you can be really insensitive about that. Depends on the situation. But sometimes I also think it maybe helps you a little bit. Is that?
It does, because it gives me that sense of normalcy, that sense of routine. What really helped me the most, though, we have a routine that when we go to bed at night, we do not go right to sleep. We talk. And last night, we most of the time don't generally try to do this too much. We don't try to get into too deep.
We don't turn it into like a meeting of the minds. We're just trying to chit chat.
We're just trying to talk and, you know, have some time together. Last night it turned into a bit of a deep dive.
I don't know, we got some things dealt with. It was kind of nice.
It was. and I think it was much needed. Last night I can actually say I slept decently, not great, but more decent than I have for the last few nights.
I haven't slept decently in so many months. I don't even remember.
You know, and that helped a great deal.
And you know, here's what's funny. So I worry that I'm not being a good submissive. There's things I'd like to be, and yet be doing that I'm not. General malaise, as we've discussed. And yet, when I'm in that mode with you, and we're problem solving, and I'm, if you were on the outside looking in of that conversation, you would not think I was submissive at all. You would not even think that was a submissive act, because I'm very firm in my opinions, and here's what I think, and here's what I said, and here's how I feel. And it's very direct. Even as I'm trying to be kind and empathetic and like, I know you might not see it this way, I'm still like sort of laying it out there. And yet it is when I feel sometimes my most submissive, because I know I'm doing that in service of you, in the sense that if you can get some clarity of thought about how you see a specific stressful situation, then you can, I think I said this a little bit ago, am I on repeat? Maybe I am. Then you can get more back to yourself.
Yeah.
And that was this, that's where I know I'm not alone in this. Everybody doesn't feel this way, but I know I'm not alone in it. Sometimes we discount the things that we do in our power exchange because they're not what we immediately think of as submission or dominance, as somehow not good enough, as somehow not really whatever our role happens to be. And yet, when I'm, taking a sort of a 50,000-foot view of it, I'm like, wait, I did that because my whole purpose and being was help you feel better, help you get that clarity that you needed, not tell him what to think, not make up his mind for him. Thankfully, I have grown past thinking that I can even do that and even trying to do that. But that is part of my submission. And because it doesn't look like, put air quotes around that, look like submission from the outside, or because it doesn't fit some weird stereotype or ideal I have in my head, I can discount that as not really being a good submissive or submissive enough, or not really, fine-tuning our power exchange and navigating it the way we had said we wanted to. And yet we've had enough over the past several months, especially since COVID became like a thing we were really thinking about daily.
Yeah. That
has been a thing I've done for you a lot. I mean, almost on a weekly basis. It's not always about the same thing, but because there's the things that stress me out directly have not been the same things that stress you out directly. So yes, coronavirus is stressful, and being worried about getting it and then, all of that's stressful. But I don't have high anxiety about that, mostly because I don't know. I don't know why I don't, but I don't have a lot of high anxiety about that. So I can have those conversations with you and speak about them in a less emotional way. The issue you went through this weekend, which we will keep alluding to, but it's one of those, it's a family thing, we're not going to talk about it. That was something that I, as impacted as I was emotionally, I was still on the outside looking in. And so I could be there for you. And that's got to be meaningful. I need to find meaning in that, because that is me serving you. It's not the same as being on my knees. It's not the same as remembering the coffee pot. And I've probably forgotten the coffee pot more times in the past 5 months than I have in our whole relationship. And I think maybe that's something. If it helps you out there, then it's something. It might not be specific to coronavirus. It might not be specific to any of the big issues that we're talking about. But if you find yourself inhabiting your role in comfort of, or in a way to help your partner, it doesn't have to look like anything that Power Exchange has ever looked before. It doesn't have to be the idealized thing you might have in your head. It's got to count. Like, I just,
It does. And I noticed, several people in the live chat talking about how when they get stressed, they kind of turn inwards. And that is definitely what I do.
Oh, yeah, you do. I know. I'd just go, ooh, look at you walking around with your feelings. Could you,
Yeah.
talk to me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And last night with us talking like that helped bring me out of that.
And then I don't think I sensed it. I was getting very tired. I'd had a very long day, and then there's a lot of emotional work that goes into conversations like that. When it's somebody I just genuinely care about with my whole being, like you, and especially when I am in that mode of this is in service, I thrive on that. I'll actually not feel how exhausted I am until we're done. By the end of the conversation, I did not have a sense of whether that helped you or not, because I was too damn tired. I was finally wiped the hell out. But it makes me then feel good at a one, as a human being, two, as the woman who loves you, three, as my little subby self, to know that was helpful, because then that means that the thing I wanted to accomplish, I did. And yeah, it benefits me. I mean, let's not be, obtuse about it. I benefit if his mood is where it needs to be. Of course, okay? Nobody wants to walk around with a grumpy polar bear, is all I'm saying. But it is more important to me for you not to have that stressed look or that hurt look. I mean, it's physically painful to me when I know you're in a place like that. And I thankfully know I can't fix everything. But maybe I can help you figure it out for yourself. And it goes back to why I just roll my eyes real hard when people talk about opinionated people can't possibly be submissive. Fuck you and your opinions I don't agree with. Because I'm using that superpower I have of being really fucking opinionated and thinking deeply about all kinds of things in service of a person I care about. And that has to count as something. It's not what we thought we would use for... I'm feeling better already in this conversation. Thank you for the therapy session now.
Right.
Because, I started out this day. I woke up this morning thinking, I know I'm submissive. I know who I am, but I'm not feeling it because we haven't been able to do this. We haven't been able to do that. We finally had sex this morning, thank God. And I was kind of coy about it. I didn't jump into your arms. Actually, I got a hot flash right as you decided you wanted to touch me. And I was like, I hate this. I mean, I love it, but I hate it because hot flashes are a thing and they suck. But, I was feeling bad because I wasn't being whatever picture I had in my head of what submission is, because life is fucking hard right now. And yet, in this conversation where I'm like, wait, that's an act of service, and I know that's an act of service. Oh, wait. Oh, I'm feeling... And then you tell me it worked. And now I'm feeling more secure in myself as a submissive.
Yeah.
And I think that's another, maybe a reality that some of us understand that, or can relate to on some level. We're living in a dumpster fire of a world right now where there's a lot going on, and it weighs heavily on our minds. Even if we're navigating it fairly well. I mean, let's be very clear here. We, John Brownstone and myself, have not had financial problems from it. We've not had health problems from it. We are very, very fortunate and very cognizant of our privileges in this situation. We're doing fine. So people do have it worse, but it is still a shitty situation, and we all are having to navigate some level of it. And to just be able to say, this sucks and this is hard. I lost my train of thought, but I feel like that's meaningful. It's a live stream. I can't go back and rewind. Sorry. I'm on a ranty roll, I think. I don't know.
Yeah, something like that.
it needs to be okay to admit that you're not okay. And if you have people in your lives who you can talk to, whether it's a partner or it's just community, I think the value of shared community, if it's a positive space, is more important than it's ever been. I think that some of us do live in isolated situations, especially as kinksters. If you happen to have that life where you can't, the people around you have no clue that you are kinky, but you're navigating these tough situations, and maybe you can't see your partner. Maybe, you broke up. Maybe your relationship is like, kind of feels like it's crumbling around you and you have nobody around you to talk about it. And then of course we put expectations on ourselves. So like our lives it's stressful, but our lives are fine, knock on wood, right? So it's easy to go, well, I should be handling this better. There's no fucking script for what we're going through.
No.
But I already said that, and I know I'm on repeat, and I know I am going to be that old lady that I'm already that old lady that tells you the same story 20 times. I know. But man, it's going to be really bad when I'm like elderly.
I won't be able to hear you by then.
I know. You're going to be that guy that just smiles at whatever your wife says because you can't hear a word she says.
Smile and nod.
I know.
Smile and nod. Yeah.
So, there are many things that could be said. I think most of the things people kind of already know. I want to validate it for folks who just maybe think they're the only ones. I just want to give space for that conversation, for that acknowledgement. Even if you're mostly fine right now. I would have told you a month ago I was mostly fine. And then I realized that there are about half a dozen personal things. They're not business related. They're not money related. They're just personal things I have been incapable of doing or starting, even though I mean it when I say I desperately want to. And I recognize it's part of it's the state of the world. And then here I am, somebody who typically feels pretty secure in our power exchange, and I wake up and I'm like, I'm not a real submissive, which is bullshit. And so it's like, shit, if I'm thinking it, other people are thinking it, we gotta have this conversation. Also, we literally could not think of a topic because nothing felt important. Nothing felt urgent that we've gotta, this will help people's relationships if they just know this. Like, no. It was like, the world's on fire and it's hard to care about anything right now. I mean, that was, and what's funny? I have not looked at the news headlines today. That's my evening thing to do, because I like not sleeping. And so I don't know. Maybe the world is a millimeter better for all it's not. I know it's not. But still, like, I don't know that the world is any more on fire than it was yesterday. But so that's all this is. I don't know. If it's helpful, then I'm glad of it. If it makes you feel seen, even better. If you're like, oh, I don't relate to any of this, that's okay. It's okay. If you ever one day do relate to it, feel free to come back to it and go, oh, okay, I can relate now, and if that brings you comfort, great. I guess I just wanted a space to go, I don't have good, healthy coping mechanisms right now. I'm eating everything that's put in front of my face, even when I know it causes my body physical pain. Like, talk about masochism. I'm like, that thing that does taste delicious will put me in pain for 24 hours. Yeah, I'm totally gonna fucking eat that shit. Yeah. Hell yeah. Or, waking up at 7:30 in the morning and scrolling for an hour on your phone always triggers some level of anxiety. You should not do this. Don't worry, I'm gonna scroll anyway. Like, I know I'm actively doing things that are not good for me. Because it's just, then, I don't know.
It's not easy. Definitely not fun.
Of course not. I think another thing is, and not everybody will agree with this, and that's okay. I do think that where you can find joy and hope and light and love and goodness whatever that means to you, because it's different for all of us, y'all. Celebrate that. Swim in your joy of whatever that is. Is it a new relationship? Is it, is it a promotion at work? Is it you learned a new kinky skill? Is it you completed a project? Like, it doesn't matter what the fuck it is. Us allowing ourselves to find and experience real joy on very small, personal, granular levels does not fix the dumpster fire of the world, but it helps us continue moving forward, because at some point this dumpster fire of the world, there'll be another dumpster fire, but at least it'll be a different dumpster fire at that point, and maybe we can cope with that one better. Mm-hmm. This will create a new normal and come to some kind of nebulous end of some sort, however long that takes, we have no way of knowing. And if you have denied yourself any level of joy that you can find, even if it's just laughing at snarky jokes, right? What kind of person are you going to be at that point? I mean, how are you going to cope as a human being? I'm not smart enough to have the right words for this. There are probably some really philosophical things that better spoken people than myself can say, but it's right up there to me with why I will crack a joke to cut tension. Like, at a dark moment, we've talked about this before. I'm going to make a joke. It's going to be inappropriate. Somebody's going to be uncomfortable because I cracked that joke. It's fine. I need the moment of, even if it's harsh laughter, almost angry laughter, I need that moment to remind myself that I can laugh, that there are still things that are good in my personal world, in the little sphere and bubble I have for myself, that's not part of that big, overwhelming world of 7+ billion people. It's a little bit like cultivating your inner life when your outer life is like on fire. And whether you do that through kink or you do that through other things, it's fine. But I think that's important too. It doesn't make everything better. It doesn't fix anything. But if it helps you get through a day,
right,
then that's what matters. I've been trying to do that with online shopping. That's not been going well.
Yeah.
We just paid the credit card bill. Not been going well. I have to find other coping mechanisms. So I'm going to stop talking because I could keep talking. And I just, I just want anybody out there who thought they were the only one to know that you're never the only one.
No.
You were never the only submissive. You were never the only masochist. You were never the only dominant. You were never the only whatever very specific kink you're into. You're never the only one. There's always somebody out there. And hopefully this is a point of connection to be reminded of that on another level.
Yeah.
So, okay. So I guess we should do, we're not should. Lord, I'm so, I'm deflated, but we are going to do a bonus section. We will, because we'll talk about what I did yesterday, because that was kind of exciting, and that's probably about all I've got. Who knows? I can ramble at any point, put a microphone in front of me. I'll talk. Might not make any sense to anybody. I think I lost my train of thought at least twice in this episode. Sorry about that, y'all. Here we are.
Yeah. All right.
So yeah, I think so.
Are we good?
I'm not answering that question.
Yeah, I know. I hear you. Asked me yesterday, would have been a whole different.
It would have been. We'll talk about that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. We good?
Keep it kinky, y'all, and we'll see you next week. Daddy.
Yes, baby girl.
Can I talk to the crickets, please?
You like talking to the crickets, don't you?
I do like talking to the crickets.
Yeah. Why do you like talking to the crickets so much, baby girl?
Because they're the crickets, and they're proud crickets, and they're my community.
Okay.
Community is important right now.
It is. It is.
Even the lurker ones who never speak to me, it's okay. I'm one of those types of people. I see you even though you're like, please don't see me. That's why I lurk.
I haven't even been lurking lately.
I know. That's how I know the world's on fire, because you will usually still at least lurk.
Yeah.
So can I talk to the damn crickets, please?
You can talk to the crickets.
So Are we going to do an emoji of the week? Yeah, we're going to repeat one. We're going to do our purple heart. Actually, you know what? Do your favorite color heart. It doesn't have to be purple. Do your favorite color heart emoji. Do it in the live stream. Do it in a comment in the video. If you're listening on the podcast, reach out in whatever way we're connected. FetLife DMs, Twitter, email. Yeah, however, your favorite color heart emoji. There's I think an entire rainbow, and I know there's a black heart. I don't know is there a white heart? I don't know. Whatever your color is. So, yeah, Flashfire says in the live stream chat, one wants me to notice you. I totally noticed you. But also, that was a short stream. It was because it was either that or talk for another 6 hours. Some of y'all would let us talk for another 6 hours. I got some stuff to do. I can't be talking for another 6 hours. Oh, gosh. So, yesterday, the Tuesday. So, poor podcast listeners, time travel is weird. So, or if you're watching like way later, or listening way later, you found us in the year 2022 and you're like, yesterday, what? We're recording on Wednesday, July 1st. On Tuesday, June 30th. Thankfully, my mother and my aunt, like my whole family, which that's my whole family, other than you guys. Both my mom and my aunt have taken the pandemic very seriously. So they do not needlessly go out. They wear masks. They social distance. They're like me. We're all very introverted. We got personal bubble space kind of thing. Like, don't get within 3 feet of me if I don't know you anyway. Now, 6 feet, even better. They follow that. They respect that. I feel like they're taking everything seriously. I'm not having to have a boomer conversation with my older family members of actually, no, this is serious. Could you take it seriously? I'm very fortunate there. So when my mom was like, hey, can the 10-year-old still like come to my house for the summer? I was like, well, let's talk about this. So he's going to be there for a minimum of a month. If school opening gets delayed, I'll let him stay longer if he wants to. I think he'll want to. His grandmother is his favorite person on the planet right now. I think I'm second, but she is definitely first. But normally what would have happened is she would have driven all the way here, stayed for a couple days, then taken it back. That did not feel right, partly because my aunt and uncle have some health issues beyond pandemic stuff. And she was like, I don't think I need to be like taking up space in their house. And I was like, yeah, probably not. So we decided to meet kind of in the middle. We each drove to Tallahassee, met in a Zaxby's parking lot because none of us were going into a restaurant. I don't care if you can. Just because you can do something don't mean you should. We ate lunch in our cars. And then she and her best friend, who always rides with her because she's an anxious driver, spirited away the 10-year-old. He is now off to Mississippi with his grandma. I had the 14-year-old too, because I said, you're at least going to look at your grandma and say hi if you don't want to spend the summer with her. I respect the teenager being like, please don't make me go to my grandma's house. So does my mom. She's like, no, I get it. He's getting to that age. He does not want to do that. But what I thought was like, it'll be like a 3-hour drive there and a 3-hour drive back. It was closer to 3.5 hours. And then we were in the car for lunch. So I was in the car for 9 hours. I came home and I'm like, John Brownstone has been left on his own for the first time in literal months. No kids around, no me around. He's going to walk around naked. He's going to like watch his porn. I did see a stroker on the bathroom counter, so I know at least one good thing happened. I was like, he's going to have himself a big day. And I walked in and I was exhausted, like just, and I know y'all are going to laugh at me. I do not use the cruise control in my car. So my leg always hurts after I drive all day long. It's a control thing. I don't use my cruise control. So I walk in and I'm just like wet blanket, just limp, tired. And you just looked, OMG. It was a bad day. I was like, what is wrong? Like, we're down to one kid, and the one kid who can be left home on his own, we don't worry about him. What is wrong? So then I fed your emotions with good food.
Yeah.
I got a little bossy, but in a very submissive way.
Mm-hmm.
I got you to make some decisions about a birthday thing.
Yeah.
And then you had sex with me this morning, so clearly you're feeling better.
Hmm.
So, that's our day. I know you wanted to know all of those details, but yeah.
No.
But
I don't have anything.
you've had a rough week.
Yeah.
You've had a rough week.
I mean, I've been doing a few things. I've actually been updating my Etsy shop
Yeah.
and website with some stuff because I've had all this stuff that I've made the last few months just sitting around.
Yeah. I know we're buying an entire piece of furniture to hold all of your
Hold all
stuff.
that stuff. Yes.
Well, I will when
Well.
I can get a click and pick up
True.
spot in Orlando at
Might take us another month.
IKEA.
IKEA.
I think it's somebody correct me. Was it Queen Freya who was educating us?
Yes.
I don't think Queen Freya's here today.
No, I haven't
I
seen.
wish they were so they could, because I'm struggling.
Mm-hmm.
But either way, yes, I'm back to checking multiple times a day. Can I get a pickup slot? Because we need more fucking furniture. I'm over this. I'm done with furniture.
CDC, yes, the shop pretty much is set up.
As set up as it's going to be.
As set up as it's going to be at this point. My scroll saw has gone south.
Yeah, so a new saw is needed.
Yeah, so my scroll saw is DOA, no hope of revival.
Yeah. CDC asked about our workspace. It will be completely set up workspace-wise once we get one more piece of furniture. We have a corner of this office space that we're in that is as junky as it gets, and it is stressing me out.
Yeah.
So we're going to buy that piece of furniture.
We are probably, what we'd say, about 60%?
75. Truly.
Okay. Yeah.
And this has nothing to do... Okay, so this has nothing to do with anything. But it is technically workspace. So, I ordered some stuff for my cross stitch from Canada because it was the only place I could get it from. And I've waited 6 weeks, and it's now being shipped to me. I'm tracking it impatiently. And a corner of our office is also my stitching space because it's not a space I use to work, so it's okay. And so that now has to be organized. And once that space is organized, then the whole room will be completely done. It is very exciting. Yeah, we've been doing a lot of research on equipment. We dropped the news for patrons in our behind the scenes podcast episode that went out on June 30th. We've bought some new equipment. And depending on the learning curve, either next week or the week after, anybody who watches us on YouTube will hopefully notice a massive improvement in picture quality, especially when you insist on putting us up on your smart TV, as some of you tell us that you do, and I'm like, I know the picture quality's not great. What do I look like pixelated? I don't know. So yeah, we've been doing stuff. I love how in the live stream chat there's people who are like, I love cruise control, and other people are like, no, it's totally a control thing.
I love.
I know you do.
Yeah.
I know you do. Now, here's my question, because I believe everybody so far who has said that they like it, I think they're all DOMs. Is it because you're making the car do what you want to do with less effort? These are the things I wonder. So I'm just.
It's a back saver on long drives.
Well, I mean, it is that.
Yes.
But also.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't like it. We've got Velvet Sky and Juniper and X saying that yes, we're on a big screen. Okay, so hopefully once the new equipment arrives, that will be a huge difference. Especially telling you, I don't think I want to see myself all pixelated.
Right.
So
yeah, I'm gonna have to have a little bit of time because there's gonna be some new software.
Yeah.
Involved
Hopefully
to learn.
we'll get to play with it this weekend.
Yeah.
If it arrives on time. It's supposed to arrive on Thursday.
Tomorrow. Day after we're recording this, yeah.
Yeah. Thankfully, that was a business expense, so I'm just able to put that out of the business account. That was nice. Yeah, nice. I think I finally calmed down on my online shopping.
Oh, good. I'm just getting ramped up.
Well, you want to know what's funny? I have calmed down on my that's not complete. Well, I have some books I want to buy, but I have calmed down on my personal online shopping because now I get to buy birthday presents. Yes, now I get to buy birthday presents because I've got to pick something out for my aunt whose birthday is at the end of the month.
Yeah.
Even if I won't see her, I at least can get it to her. So
Right.
my online shopping has not actually, I guess, changed. It's just been diverted.
Well, today of this recording, today is July 1st. I just got the July Woodcraft sale flyer.
Oh goodness, the wood store.
Yep. Yep.
Is there wood you want to buy?
Yes.
There's always wood you want to buy. What am I saying? What am I saying?
Yeah, there is.
Yeah.
Definitely is.
I mean, I think we're kind of quiet this week.
Mm-hmm.
We are doing our Friday night YouTube hangout.
Mm-hmm.
I will, for podcast listeners, you are always welcome to join. But I know some people, once they're a podcast listener, that is what they do. They just listen. But yeah, if you end up missing the live streams, maybe the Wednesday live streams for the podcast, maybe you can join us on the hangout. We have floated the idea. We've made no decisions yet. But we have floated the idea of doing the Friday night hangout less frequently. We haven't made no panicking for my live stream folk.
No.
We have not made any decisions, but that is a thing that we are considering. I know I've talked about this a couple times already, but the mini podcast episodes, the 12, have ended. Those are all out, and I've gotten a lot of feedback from people who are like, hey, keep doing that. So that will probably...
Yeah, it seems a lot of people liked it.
I just got to get my shit together, I think. So yeah.
Yeah.
But... So... Yeah. That's... I'm feeling very quiet today. I know that's shocking. I just talked for an hour. I know, but beyond that, I'm feeling very quiet today.
They're not going anywhere for the immediate future, X.
Oh, let's tell podcast listeners what we're talking about. The Friday night YouTube hangout live streams. No, I don't want to get burnt out on it. But I also feel like the world is still on fire, so maybe they're still helping enough people.
Yeah.
But yeah. So I'm just feeling quiet this week. The rain makes me want to take a nap.
Yes.
I got stuff to do though, so I probably should not take a nap.
No, you can't.
No.
At least until you get that stuff boxed up. Once I leave to go to the post office, then you can take a nap.
I suck. I forgot another announcement I should have said at the beginning. And now only the crickets know, but it's okay if the crickets know. But I feel bad because I meant to make it a everybody announcement. For people who do not watch us on YouTube and you subscribe maybe through a podcast, we have a giveaway attached to one of our videos, so maybe it would be worth watching a video. Elegantly Owned sponsored us for the month of June. Thank you again to Elegantly Owned. I think Tayshu's probably still in the live chat. And we did a review video, which we paired with a giveaway. And for podcast listeners, I will put that link to that video in the show notes page so you can watch it, because that's got the giveaway details. If you hear rumbling in the background, the rain came back. So we've already got some people who have entered. That's really cool. We will have 3 winners because we have 3 items that we are giving away from Elegantly Owned. And because would be small packages, they're open to more than just the US, because that we can mail them fairly inexpensively. And so, I forgot all about that. For anybody who's actually watching on YouTube, it is our most recently uploaded video, the collar review, Elegantly Owned, I think is what I called it. So, there's that. I can't believe I forgot to mention that at the top. So, and Eva asked, it's 1 entry per person. Yes. And if you happen to be in a relationship or there's some friend of yours who's willing to do it, that's fine. I don't mind. It's just the same person cannot cannot enter multiple times. We did a very simple entry this time on like a Google form. We do ask for email addresses, but we're not going to keep that information. So you don't have to worry about like getting spam afterwards because you gave me your email address. I don't play that shit. So yeah, and it's 2 day collars that are beautiful. One is black, one is purple, and the like aluminum. They're made with aluminum, right, Tayshia? Or they? Yeah. You'll tell me in the live stream chat. And the other is an anklet that's very pretty, bubblegum pink. It's all gorgeous. That's all gorgeous.
Yeah.
I'm wearing my anklet right now. I don't feel right with it on, because I don't like cruise control, and I kept my foot in the same exact spot for 3.5 hours 2 ways, so 7 hours of just pure driving. My foot swelled up, and the anklet left a mark on my ankle. It's like, this was not how I intended to get marks, but okay, we'll take it. We'll take it. So, yeah. Okay, I think that's it. I think that I mean, I could ramble. Y'all hanging out with y'all, talking to y'all, whether I know you're listening on the podcast or it's YouTube, is a comfort to me. So I hope y'all have a sense of community, being part of this in whatever way you experience it. But y'all are my community too, so I feel better being here. So that's all I got. Maybe I'll take it easy today and be easy on myself. I do have work to do.
There you go.
So, but okay, we love you guys.
Thanks for joining us.
Yeah.
Always happy to have you along.
Yeah. If you are, if you enjoy the YouTube stuff, we got the hangout on Friday night. If you're a newsletter subscriber, I always put that link in the newsletter.
Yeah.
And I put the link to sign up for the newsletter in show notes pages and description boxes. So if you are not, then haha. And then if you're a patron, we have a live Q&A on Saturday, and then we'll be back next Wednesday, because that's what we do.
There you go.
Okay.
All right.
We'll talk to you later.
Bye.
Bye.